Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is Thursday, and all of our guests today are brought to you by one of the teams Shea Weber used to go up against when he was with the Kelowna Rockets.
Yeah.
The Vancouver Giants. Vancouver Giants season ticket packages are now on sale. All season ticket packages now include access to WHL Live, so you never miss a game, as well as the first 2 home playoff games, plus flexible payment plans are available with no additional cost. For more info, email sales at vancouvergiants.com or call 604-4 Giants. Shea Weber is going to join us now. He's getting inducted into the BC Hockey Hall of Fame on July 19th in Penticton at the beautiful South Okanagan Events Center. What a facility that is. And he's going in with Carey Price, his teammate in Montreal, along with the 2010, among others, the 2010 Fort St. John Flyers from your old neck of the woods.
I remember those Fort St. John teams.
Shea Weber joins us now. Shea, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Your reaction to getting into the BC Hockey Hall of Fame, Shea?
Yeah, it's surprising for me. It wasn't something that I expected, but when I got the news, it was a huge honor. And growing up in BC in a small town that I think gave so much to me, and to be able to be honored in that province is special to myself, and something that I'm really looking forward to.
The small town being Sicamous, Shea, if I'm not mistaken, is this true? You grew up in the same neighborhood as a couple of other kids who ended up making it into the National Hockey League, Cody Franson being one of them and Chris Beach the other?
Yeah, it is true. Pretty amazing for a small town to have. Even at one point there, we had Chris, Cody, and myself all at training camp in Nashville. So 3 Sicamous boys were in the same training camp. So it's pretty full circle moment. But I mean, I love that town. My dad still lives there, and it's a place we go back to in the summer, go to hockey school there. And they gave a lot to me, an opportunity to play. And yeah, like you said, Cody lived down the street, same street as me. Chris was 1 street over. So it's definitely a small community, but awesome.
Sounds like a documentary in the making there, Shea. Hey, is this extra special because you're going into the hall with your old Montreal teammate, Carey Price? And I wonder, you guys are around the same age, I think a couple of years difference, if you knew each other through minor hockey circles back in the day.
Yeah, no, it definitely is special to go in with him. Someone that I was fortunate enough to get to know him a little bit before I got traded to Montreal, playing on the Canadian teams. And I mean, such a good person, and obviously his hockey career speaks for itself. I don't think I played against him growing up. He's 2 years younger, so I think we missed that window, flip-flopping back and forth. If I remember correctly, my dad said that my brother played against him in one provincials or something like that. So knew of him, but didn't actually get to know him until later on in our careers.
Hey, Shea, no one knows the journey when you first put on those skates, but man, oh man, a Memorial Cup in Kelowna, second round NHL draft, over 1,000 games in the NHL, won gold 4 times with Canada. What a career. When you look back on it, what were some of the highlights for you, Shea?
Oh, man, it's hard to really pinpoint one thing. I was very fortunate. Obviously, it's a game that I grew up in love with, and my dream was to play in the NHL, and obviously I'm one of the fortunate ones that got lucky enough to get there and stay and play in 2 great cities and be able to play for my country multiple times. I mean, obviously, you win gold in Vancouver. That's pretty amazing. Yep. World Juniors in North Dakota was sweet. We had a bunch of Canadian fans down there too. It's hard to really pinpoint one thing. Memorial Cup in Kelowna at home too. So it's like, I don't know. It's tough. It's a good problem to have. I was very lucky to be on some good teams and winning teams. So definitely the memories that I'll never forget for sure.
Shea, not drafted in the Western Hockey League Bantam draft, but you're playing in Sicamous Junior B. You get listed by Kelowna, and then you take off in Kelowna. Talk a little bit about not getting drafted in the Western Hockey League draft and still making it and making it big.
Yeah. You know, I talk a lot with parents now and kids, and just how much of it doesn't really mean anything. I mean, the kids are 14 when you get drafted. Obviously, when I was coming up, that was something I was hopeful to get drafted into the Western League. I knew in a small town playing single A, chances were probably pretty slim, and my dad always reminded me of that. So, I think for me, it fired me up even more. I probably consider myself a little bit of a late bloomer as far as filling out and growing into my body. And then things just kind of rapidly, like I said, I played junior B at home. We won everything. Yep. Great experience. Had a lot of fun there. And then next year I end up in Kelowna, and I mean, 1 year there and I'm already drafted. Things kind of just sped right up from there and kind of took off. So I always tell the parents now not to be so worried and caught up in all the extracurriculars and all that stuff. But I mean, to each their own. Everyone can do what they want. I think everyone's going to develop at their own pace and just play lots of sports, kids. That's all I recommend. Just do a lot of different sports.
Yeah, great advice. The offer sheet, Shea, I still remember where I was that day in 2012 from the Flyers, 14 years, $110 million. Man, oh man, that was a big one. Talk a little bit about that offer sheet and how massive it was.
Yeah, it was something that I didn't even think was a possibility, and then it kind of came to fruition there. My agent said there's some teams that are interested all of a sudden, and then we met with them, and things just kind of, they offered it, and I didn't know what to do, to be honest. It was a tough situation. I love Nashville and everything about it and wanted to finish my career there, but at the same time, it's tough to say no to that money, and I think it worked out pretty well, being able to have that contract and still stay in Nashville where I was drafted and kind of grew up as well.
38 years old, Shea, you see someone like Joe Pavelski, who's pushing 40, still playing in the National Hockey League. Are you watching the playoffs, and how much do you miss it?
100%, yeah. I'm watching almost every game. If my kids don't have sports, I got her on the couch. I record it and watch it when I get home. So it's definitely tuned in. I mean, this is the time of year when the juices get flowing. Obviously, regular season's fun to watch, but this is just a whole other animal, especially as a player. You remember the moments and how much each game, how much each moment, means, and the momentum shifts and the crowds. It's just, it's a great time of year.
Hey, Shea, your injuries are well documented. How's your health?
Not great. I mean, obviously, it's good enough. Good enough. I mean, it's tough to answer that one, to be honest. Obviously, I wake up and don't feel great, but at the same time, hockey gave me a lot, and it's there's not much you can do. I wouldn't change it for the world. I enjoyed every minute of it. It's just it kind of came sooner than I wanted, and definitely not mentally wasn't ready to go. The body just kind of told me it was time. So that's just the way it goes.
And hearkening back to one of your earlier answers, and you mentioned your kids, it sounds like you're involved in minor hockey. What are you up to these days?
Yeah, just coaching multiple sports. Coaching baseball, coaching hockey, and got kids in lacrosse and soccer. So kind of just being a taxi driver and, helping out wherever I can.
You mentioned something there, Shea. We're just going to keep it a little longer if you don't mind. But kids playing different sports, you feel that's important. You mentioned all the sports your kids are involved in. It's not the case these days with a lot of kids. They play hockey all year round. Things are different from when I grew up and when you grew up and when Rick grew up. Why do you feel that's important that they play different sports versus what a lot of kids are doing?
They just need a break. I think your body is especially skating all the time, your hips and groins, and then mentally too. It gives you a break, and you get the excitement back to, it's what I did. I played hockey until it was baseball season, and I played baseball, and then I'd start getting super excited to get back in and play hockey. And then you get into the different values and strategies of other sports and meeting new friends and stuff. I think there's so many values and coordination, everything that goes into it, and everyone's just kind of worried about their kid couldn't get into the NHL, and that's not why we put our kids in sports. We put our kids in sports for all the intangibles and the character traits.
Well said. Shea, thanks so much for doing this. And we were talking before we got you on the air here, and I think it was against Germany. We all remember that goal. at Rogers Arena 2010 Olympics when you put the puck through the net, and only one section of the arena realized that you had scored. It was such a memorable moment, and we remember it well. And what a shot! Thanks so much for this, Shea.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You bet.